Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 2, chatting breeze where we look at the good, the bad and the downright ugly, but what is there good from today's performance? What is there good to take away from this season? Graham Potter is at the darkest place he's ever been as a Chelsea fan. It's to the point where if you watch Rush Hour 1 and Suyan gets kidnapped and her father finds out, and literally that's how I'm feeling right now because I've lost my club. My club is kidnapped. My club is not here. My club doesn't exist anymore. We used to be a proper team. At this moment in time now, I'm not even angry. I'm just purely disappointed, and the worst part is I was expecting it. I tweeted this morning, Unai Emery has got a plan for us. And you know what? The reality is Unai Emery came to Stamford Bridge, they played it perfectly, and they got exactly what they deserved, and if anything, they should have got more goals. Let's get it. Welcome to the Kavkas View. Today, I'm going to be very frankly honest, right? The structure that I normally have with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, a little bit of a cheeky chappy where we're having banter, and I'm giving you guys some entertainment, it's going to be hard to do. I'm going to strictly talk about the game. I'm going to give it off the cuff. I'm going to give you to like properly to the point where I'm not holding my tongue. I can't always spin the positive on everything. It's very difficult because it gets to a point where the team puts you in a position where what positives can I take out of today? What positives can I take out of a manager that picked up 1 point from a possible of 6 in back-to-back home games against 2 teams in the bottom half? We are 11th. We are 11th, guys. 11th. Let that sink in. Nagelsmann's available. Go and get him now. It's only correct that we start with the downright ugly. And number 1, look, managers' decisions either make them or break them. And in today's section, Potter's decisions broke him. Potter absolutely lost it in front of the cameras. And the reason I'm saying is because, number 1, you took a gamble. Reece James, right centre-back. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right wing-back. Okay, cool. It's a gamble. We'll take it. We'll try it. Didn't work out. The change he makes, he takes off Ruben, brings on Noni Madueke, brings on Kante instead of Mudryk. We need a goal, mate. We're 2-0 down. We need a goal. What are you doing? Why are you taking off Mudryk, who actually had a dangerous-ish half? Didn't have a good game, but he was fairly dangerous. And then he goes and produces something that I call craziness, right? At this point, he's lost his head. Head's gone. We are literally working with the finite resources here. He puts Ben Chilwell, who was our most dangerous player yet again, left centre-back. I call Ben Basic Ben. A lot of you get at me for calling him Basic Ben. But you know what Ben is very good at? Ben is very good at popping up with a goal, creating an opportunity for someone else, taking a pot shot, getting into dangerous areas. And guess what? It's got to the point where he's playing left centre-back, Reece James right centre-back. Our crossing attributes are no longer existent because we've got 2 wing-backs that want to come in on their left foot, on their right foot. Noni Madueke doesn't want to use his right foot. Christian Pulisic doesn't want to use his left. Guess what happens? You keep going into traffic. You keep going into traffic. Potter did not figure this out. He, if anything, played into Villa's hands. That's the first one. Number 2, you trust players like Cucurella and Koulibaly. I actually think Koulibaly, other than a 10-minute spell in the beginning of the game where his passing was off, he was fairly decent. He did his job. He covered the 2 centre-backs that played either side of him. He was okay. Nothing terrible, nothing fantastic. Good recoveries, dealt with Ramsey one-on-one in the first half very well. When Ramsey got through, very good last-ditch tackle. Cucurella, on the other hand, big man, what are you doing? Like, we're under so much pressure. It's you versus Watkins with Koulibaly. You need to get better connection on it. Let it go. Deal with it. He didn't get enough connection. He literally flicked the ball on when there was a long ball. And then guess what happened? Koulibaly's in no man's land, Kepa's in no man's land, Watkins just chips him, and prior to that, Watkins was threatening. And that's what the issue. Watkins was threatening prior to that. Mistake. And number 3, the other ugly thing. We religiously get worse after taking a break. It's like when I try to study, right? I can do 45 minutes of a great session. Then I take a break for 15 minutes. Very hard to come back out and start studying again because I'm too relaxed. I don't want to study anymore. And you know what? Evidently, the players go in there, they listen to the lullaby from Graham Potter. They don't want to do no work. They want to be lazy. They don't want to follow the game plan. They don't respect him evidently enough to come out and perform after the half. And this is something that's been consistently happening. This isn't me being reactionary. This is something that we've seen, we've envisaged with our own eyes. We drop off. We have good starts to game. In this case, we didn't have a good start. We had a poor first 15, and then we had a good half an hour. We created multiple chances. And then the second half, apart from the N'Golo Kante chance, what did we create? What did we create? My notes for the second half were non-existent. Maybe it's because my head was gone. But you know what? At that moment in time, what did we create? Potter needs to be sacked. On the evidence not only of today, but of his tenure at Chelsea, he has been preposterous as a manager. I don't think that word is harsh. I don't think that word is me exaggerating the scenario. He has literally been preposterous. The ugly is ugly. But now it's time to get into the bad. These are a little bit less severe than the ugly, but things that I took out the game. People are going to say we had so many opportunities, we should have won that game. Villa had a lot of opportunities as well. I think people are keen to forget. Number one, we had the opportunity where McGinn hit the crossbar. Enzo Fernandez not interested in defending. The ball gets popped in and around him. There's no midfield. Enzo and Kovacic have zero awareness on the ball when the ball's being popped around them. They don't know what's behind them. They don't know what's to the right of them. They literally chase the ball and they hope that someone is covering the gap that they leave. If anything, Moreno played it nicely, went to Ramsey to Buendia to McGinn. First warning, off the crossbar. Then they scored. And then this what infuriated me. We went really gung-ho. It's like we had to get a goal straight away and we kept on leaving ourselves exposed. Reece James had to deal one-on-one with Jacob Ramsey. Again in the second half, Reece James had to deal with one-on-one with Jacob Ramsey and Koulibaly had to deal one-on-one with Jacob Ramsey. 3 attempts where Villa should have scored because they were through. They literally had the whole half of Chelsea's pitch to run into. They were running into. We had to make recovery tackles on the stretch just to get away with it. Now I'm going to give you some stuff that really infuriated me. And this really infuriated me for 2 reasons. Number one, 5th minute, Mudryk wins the ball in transition, takes a shot himself instead of giving Kai an open. Joao Felix on the counter-attack, 14th minute, with Kai Havertz, with Mudryk on the left, picks out Kai. Kai does nothing with the ball. Pathetic. Joao Felix gets the ball, creates some space on a half-turn, gets in between some people, takes a shot, very good shot, great save from Martinez. I'm not done. You think this is me done? Then we have the 31st minute. We've got the one-on-one with Mudryk. Mudryk goes through one-on-one, pathetic attempt to finish the ball. Number 2. Then we have 34th minute. Ben Chilwell gets the ball OTT over the top, chests it down, pops it, hits the crossbar. Literally, Chelsea were piping him. Chelsea were banging that door, trying to break it down like the police is coming to your house to raid it. That's how bad it was. Kai Havertz, tame effort. Then we had one off the line from Tyrone Mings. Corner comes in. It goes all the way through to Reece James. He takes a shot. Kai Havertz flicks it. Tyrone Mings off the line. Literally, we were so close to scoring. And if we scored then, maybe it's a different game. But we are consistently missing chances. And some of these chances are due to players not being confident. And these players don't believe in themselves. And the final bad thing, and honestly, I could be here and talk about Cucurella. I could be here and talk about his shambolic performance. I could talk about Kovacic not being aware of space. I could talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek's disaster class. But I'm going to choose to talk about Mykhailo Mudryk's confidence. This confidence has been buried. This confidence is so deeply buried that you saw a player go through one-on-one. His natural instinct was, how do I get rid of this ball? Not, how do I open my body up? How do I finesse this kindly? How do I slot it nice? His reaction was, oh my God, I need to get rid of this ball straight away. He is not confident. He doesn't believe he's good enough anymore. And that falls on the manager. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that is on Graham Potter. You consistently putting in Pulisic over him, Ziyech over him, Gallagher over him, other players that don't play in a position over him, has ruined this man's confidence to the point where this kid is judging his own attributes. Nobody thinks he is a world beater. Nobody wants consistent performances from him. But he requires a manager that puts his arm around him and makes him feel like he is the next coming of Neymar. They called him the Ukrainian Neymar. And you know what? At this moment, he's not even Rebrov. Like literally, I think calling him bloody Neymar is an over-exaggeration. Like, what are we doing here? This kid's confidence is shattered into pieces, and you can see it. The tame finish was of a man that didn't believe he could score. Potter needs to be sacked. I'm done with this project. I really am. Brian won 4-2 today. They were 4-0 up under Thomas Tuchel. Yet we sacked him and brought this clown in. When it rains, it pours, but I'm here to give you guys some ray of sunshine, okay? I'm gonna give you guys some quick positives from today's game because I feel like we need to get something that is gonna be fairly optimistic for us, okay? There's a lot of us that are very upset, so we need to get something positive. Number one, Ben Chilwell is a positive. Ben Chilwell was holding people accountable. When you saw the switch of play and the emotion of him, how angry he was at Kalidou Koulibaly, you could tell this man is a natural winner. He wants to win. He's not going to expect pathetic performances from his teammates. He will demand more. He got a good goal that, in my opinion, unfairly chalked off, but he had an overall good performance. I'm stretching for straws here, by the way. Reece James displayed his range of passes again in the first half, and in the second half, ability to deal with players one-on-one. Couple of good crosses, no one in the box. I don't know what else to say positive about Reece James because Reece had a decent performance today. He was asked to be a right centre-back. How much more can you expect from a right centre-back? None of the goals were his fault. He had a good, solid performance. He was out of position and done a phenomenal job. He's Reece James. We expect that from him. We had Enzo Fernandez, couple beautiful moments of play. He just needs a midfield partner and needs a coach that puts up a nice system around him. Put Enzo Fernandez in Arsenal right now. Put Enzo Fernandez in Real Madrid. Put Enzo Fernandez in Manchester City and you're getting one of the best players in the world. Like, literally, in his position, he'll be one of the best players in the world. That's how good of a talent this kid is. Yet, I'm expected to watch Potter ball. And Potter ball, I don't even know what it is. I see them playing with more pace than I watch my Celtics play with. Literally, the Celtics play at a slower rate than Chelsea tried to play at Stamford Bridge. It's a basketball game. It's literally end to end. It's like I'm watching the Memphis Grizzlies play. Like, it's like I'm watching Ja Morant rush the pace. It's like I'm watching prime Russell Westbrook on the ball. Like, it's pathetic. Everything's end to end. Too reckless. Another positive from today, Felix is literally the real deal. Whilst Felix isn't getting the numbers will come. A better attacking coach, a better system around him, couple of better, more organizations, some patterns of play. This kid is the real. He was literally linking up with Kai a little bit here and there. I don't think Kai had a great game. I'm not going to say he had a good game today. I think this is a poor game by Kai standards. But for me, Joao was the best attacker. Created a few opportunities, tried to carry the boys on his back. Listen, he's a young man. Like, what do you expect from him? None of them are performing well. He's trying to take shots. He's trying to be greedy, like people are saying. But at this moment in time, what else is he meant to do? The others aren't finishing. He's trying to do something. That's my personal opinion. It was nice to see Noni get some minutes, even though it was out of position. And then N'Golo Kante was on the pitch, and the only chance we created in the second half was through N'Golo Kante. This is a shame because we've got the elements of a great team. Like, we've got the pieces to compile a good unit. However, we've got a manager that doesn't know how to do it, and sadly an owner that won't pull the trigger. Sometimes you have to pull the trigger. George did it with Lenny in Of Mice and Men. I think it's time for Bowley to pull the trigger with Potter. Enough is enough.